Hey, welcome to Let the Light in TV. I am Craig Christoffersen, and today we are continuing our series of reviewing the three new lenses that Sony has released. So, just a quick little reminder, it is the Sony 15mm f1.4, the Sony 10-20 power zoom that is at an f-stop of 4, and then the one that we are looking at today is the Sony 11mm f1.8. Now those other two lenses are G series lenses, G branded lenses. That is an upper echelon of the Sony brand. This one today, the 11mm, is the only one of the three that does not have that G series branding, and therefore the other two lenses are priced at $748. That is American, and then the one today is at $548. Now Sony is advertising this lens that it has great image quality, great bokeh, it has fast focus for both stills and videos, and that it's affordable. And the reason why they're saying both for photo and video fast focus on the stills is this lens is made for what Sony is identifying as hybrid shooters, those who are doing both photo and video. And so all three of these lenses have been made with both of those objectives in mind, both of those uses in mind, both photo and video. Now, they are promoting it that it is useful for selfie style vlogging, architectural subjects, and landscape shooting. So, first of all, let's dig into the details and then we will conclude whether this advertising is true or not. So it's got a wide field of view, 11mm, but of course, taking into the 1.5 crop factor, we're ending up at 16.5mm of focal length here on the APS-C format. The focus is quick, it is quiet. I never heard the focus motors in operation. Focus motors, there's two linear focus motors here built into this lens. And even though it's not that G series branding, like the 15mm was, and the 15mm had two linear focus motors, dual focus motors, this one is keeping that function as well. The automatic focus pulling, I believe, is smooth. Whenever it switches focus, it's smooth and it is quick as well. As minimal focus breathing, it also has 7 aperture blades. And what I really liked about both the 15 and the 11mm is the large aperture, right? The 15mm was f1.4. Here today, it is f1.8. And I really like how wide open for video use, of course, as well as for photo. I really like having that wide open option, right? Because it allows you to shoot in environments where normally you wouldn't be able to shoot. It has a couple of controls built into the lens. It has a manual focus, autofocus switch built into it, as well as a focus hold button. Now, what about manual focus? This, just like the 15mm, has linear manual focus, which means that if you start your rotation on your focus ring here and you end up here, it's going to be the same whenever you go back. Despite acceleration, it will be the same start and ending points, which means you can repeatably hit the same focus points that you are trying to achieve. This is, of course, really nice. Now, this lens does not have, the focus ring doesn't have a hard stop, which means, you can go out of your focus window. You can go beyond infinity, or you can go beyond, of course, the minimum focus distance, which will mess up your starting and ending points if you, go beyond that. But it is linear. It does work. I've tested it out. It's true. Speaking of that, the minimum focus distance is 0.15 meters, 15 centimeters, or 0.5 feet. But that's an autofocus, just like the 15mm. If you switch it to manual focus, you can get a little extra distance there, and you can bring it all the way in to 12 centimeters. This lens is both lightweight and small. It's 2.25 inches long and 6.3 ounces heavy, which, by the way, is not heavy at all. It's extremely small, it's compact, it's lightweight, which makes it wonderful to travel with and pack in your bag. So as far as the features and the details go, that is it. How does it look? Let's dive into the footage and take a closer examination. All right, here is our footage, and right away we can see it is nice and sharp. You can see the cobwebs at the end of the needles there on the left-hand side, so it's producing a nice sharp image. Our bokeh in the background is crisp and quite circular all the way around. Taking a look at how this lens handles flares, of course, this is wide open at f1.8.
f1.8. There's a couple of little flares that pop through, but overall very clean, very nice. And if we close all the way down to f16, then here we get our sun stars. And I do apologize for that dust or debris or whatever it was that got on the lens. I hate when that dirties up the end result, but of course it's hard to know when you're shooting at the time that that's on there. Moving on, nice colors. This is at f16, and we switch to f1.8. And as you can see, it is a busy background, right? And we can take a look, and we look at those little bokeh balls, and there's not really any serious aberrations that are punching through like we see in some other lenses. Everything is nice and controlled and clean. Little eye focus test here. It focuses on the eye and tracks the eye specifically, right? It's not just face tracking, but it's eye tracking specifically, and it catches that in a very quick response time. Now, the one thing that does detract from this lens is if you don't have in-body stabilization. This lens does not come with optical steady shot, the Sony branded image stabilization. And so if you're doing everything handheld, like I did, like all this footage is handheld, then of course things are going to be shaky. So that's the one thing to look out for. But I think looking at these image results, everything is nice, it is crisp, it is clean, it is sharp, it provides nice color, and there's no major flaws punching through.
So, in conclusion, yes, a great lens. It does have one con in not having the image stabilization, but overall, it produces wonderful images. And certainly, for a price point of $548 and not a whole lot of competition within it, you also get a native Sony made lens for Sony made bodies specifically for APS-C. So if this is, what you are working with, then you're getting something that's natively made for your camera, which I think is a huge benefit, and it's going to be supported going forward. If you want to buy the lens, the links are down below. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Subscribe, and remember to let the light in.